Hello everyone. Welcome back to board games with me, Evil Dr. Ganymede. If you've watched the board game streams before, you've only watched the board game streams that I've done, you wouldn't have seen me before. So hello. If you've watched the video game streams that I did before all this, then you'll know what my ugly mug looks like, because I had the camera set up on that, staring at my face. But yeah, I'm trying a new setup here where I've got the overhead camera and I've got my old Logitech camera, which I use for my streams for the video games, stuck on a shelf over here, pointing in my general direction. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work out, but we'll see. Last time I tried to do a double video setup, the computer crashed horribly. But hopefully this is going to stay stable. I think that was more because it was two Logitech cameras, whereas I have now a Razer Keo up here, and I've got the Logitech over there, so hopefully they won't clash. Grab this. Yeah, I don't mind that I've got the stream on in the background there as well, just so I can see what it looks like on a bigger screen, make sure that's all okay. I'm going to try, not sure, as usual with my glasses, I'm not sure what set is going to be better for looking at a board game, but let's try this for now and then we'll see where we end up. So today we are moving away from sci-fi, and we're going to start, hopefully start and finish a Warfighter World War II game. So you can probably see it on the, no, you can't actually see it on the monitor, it's off the monitor. So that's what it looks like. If you want to take a look. Now this is actually the first edition of it. They've just released the second edition of it. It's by DVG, Dan Versen Games down here. If you want a front view there for the other camera, there you go. It's a squad-based World War II tactical combat card game, which sounds like a bit of a mouthful. But essentially, we are going to be controlling a group of soldiers, going through a bunch of locations, trying to get to an objective, and they're going to be facing lots of German hostiles along the way, because this is set in Europe in World War II. It's not a historical, it's not like a historical scenario or anything. This is like a generic kind of World War II. You're a bunch of soldiers doing missions. Maybe they were a part of some bigger thing in the war, who knows, but they're fairly sort of standard kind of things that they go and do. So they would go and blow up a supply convoy, or scout out an area, or do a raid on something, So I'll take you through how the game works, and then we'll get stuck into it and see how far we can get. So far I've played this twice solo, and I just about beat it by the skin of my teeth. It was like literally the last action and the last turn was the thing that won the mission. It's also it's not just a solo game, it's also a multiplayer co-op game that can go up to 6 people. And each person is controlling either a single soldier or a group of soldiers, and you're all working together to accomplish a mission. And I've tried that as a 2-player thing, and it's been quite fun. And that was another really close one. We had some really horrible bits in there. I had my first fatality, so it lost 2 of my men. But we managed to accomplish the mission but there was just an avalanche of Germans coming at us. It was horrendous. So the good thing about this is it's a It doesn't take long to play generally. At least the missions we've done so far, they've been kind of mid-length kind of missions. But they're very narrative. There's definitely stories to tell. And of course, like, you know, because you can play it co-op as well, you can actually sort of share the experience with other people too, so that's quite nice as well. But it does work really well as a solo game, which is what we're going to do today. What else should I say? I guess before I get going properly, a little announcement to make about the channel is that I have finally made it to Twitch affiliate, which is very cool. Only took me 2 years. Ironically, it took me, you know, I started in February 2017, and it took me until now to get affiliate, and I was streaming video games all that time, which didn't get an awful lot of views. I streamed board games for less than a month, and boom, like, suddenly all you guys are watching. So I guess that's what worked. Thank you for watching all the streams, and for tuning into the board games. Hopefully you stick around, because there's plenty more to come. I've got loads of board games sitting in the back, or in the other room, waiting to get on camera, so to speak. Yeah, hopefully we'll keep growing. That'd be cool. It'd be nice to have a board gaming community thing forming here. On with the explanation then. So what you see before you is the main board, which is not really your kind of standard gaming board. You don't move pieces around on it. It's all done by cards, as you can imagine here. We have a whole bunch of things up here. We've got the event cards, location cards, hostile cards, and an action deck. And down here we have all the squad. So let me introduce you to the men here. So we have a player character, a player soldier. We have a non-player soldier or non-player squad. So we have two of those. That's these two guys. And we have a squaddy, who is basically the complete NPC, sort of moot level. You know, almost, you know, just barely one step up from, you know, unnamed soldier number 4, you know. But they do have pictures and so on, so I'll try and show you some of them, see if that works. So this is the player soldier. This is Patel. I'm playing, you'll notice on the top left, there is a British flag. So I'm playing a British squad, a UK squad. And I guess Patel's imported from India. But he was actually really good for me last time, so I stuck with him this time. We have so we have Patel, we have White over here, and these are, it's cool because they've all got photos from you know, clearly from World War II. I don't know if some of these are actually people's dads or something, or granddads, because they did do this via Kickstarter, so they might have got some old photos, or at least the names perhaps. I don't know if it's better to show it on here. Let's see if that works. So yeah, there we go. That's White. He has an experience point. That's what the little star is. And we have Lee over here. So I'll show this on the face cam thing. So that's Lee. You'll note he has a machine gun, which is hopefully going to be handy. And he also has an experience point. And we have our squaddie here is Lonsdale, who is voted least likely to survive, but hopefully he will. I mean, they're all my men are valuable. I'm not going to like just throw them at the Germans as cannon fodder here. They're all part of the squad, all part of the team. So the way I've kind of skipped over the setup part of this because if I show you the mission here, so we're going to do, you pick the missions and the objectives beforehand. We're going to do this one. So this is Country Stroll, a rather jauntily named little thing. So Country Stroll is a kind of medium-sized mission, and you'll see that it's got resources, it's got timer, objective, and location on there. I don't know if you can see that. I had to. There's a little bit of a delay when I do that. Hopefully, it's coming out the right way around. I don't know if this flips the text around. So this is telling us the basic parameters of the mission, that we've got 48 resources to spend, which is what we use to buy all our things here. All the squad members have points associated with them, like Patel has a 10 up here, so he's worth 10 points on his own. And then we have a whole bunch of other things that they have, or that you can buy extra for them, and that's got to add up to 48, or not surpass 48. The time is 11. That is what is going on up here. So that we've got a timer track here. It's basically we have 11 turns in which to accomplish our objective. Our objective, this one says number 6. That means it's on the 6th slot of this. What is it? 11 track, or 11 slots long track, and this means we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 locations in between us and like the start of the mission and the destination, the objective. And the loadout is -1. Oh, does that mean I'm screwed here? Hang on. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Bugger. Alright, sorry. I fiddled around with things earlier on, and I now have a card that I shouldn't have, so I got rid of that card. Right. No bayonet for me. Right, because I didn't realise it had a -1 on the loadout. Right, I'll get to that in a sec. What else have we got? So at the end here, we've got the objective. Now this is another one that we choose beforehand, or we can do a random one, I suppose. But I will show you what this is. So we're going, our objective for the day, our mission, is to destroy the supply dump, which is this. So this is a pretty tough target. It's vulnerable to explosion attacks only. Well, that's going to be interesting. So I've got 3 rockets, or 3 exploding things. I've got a Piat rocket launcher, and I've got a single grenade. Explosion attacks only, +3 size, cover 2, 6 hits. So it needs 6 hits to destroy. And hostiles screen the supply dump. That means any enemies that show up are you're gonna have to kill the enemies first before you can start attacking the supply dump. Or if not kill, then suppress the enemies. Just kind of wondering now. Because I do need to have explodey things, and I've only got 3. And I'm wondering what to do with that. So I'll show you this while I'm pondering that. This is not just the base game. I actually have quite a lot of the expansions. I'll show you some of them. So, for example, the expansions to the game come in these little boxes, and they are they're not unreasonably priced. They're about like 17 Canadian dollars or something, 18 Canadian. I don't know how much that is in the US, because obviously I don't buy them from the US. But there's a whole bunch of them. I've got the British, Russian, American, German, and I've got a couple more on the way now. I've got the Polish and the French ones on the way. And I've also got the Pacific version of this on the way. So there's a Pacific Theatre expansion for this. Oh, not expansion, but rule set. It's kind of a separate game. But I suppose there's nothing actually stopping you from combining them. Right, so... but yeah, I got this... basically decided to get this baseball, kind of baseball card holding, card holding type thing, magic card holder thing, and I don't know if you can see, you've got all these separated bits in here. So yeah, it took a little bit of organising. There's room on this side for the Pacific ones. So what I'm looking for in here, we might as well have a look through this, is, I wonder how, and if I'm going to be able to actually get like a satchel charge. Where are those? Where are they? Any weapons? I guess they all come under weapons rather than equipment. Sorry, not you. So yeah, I thought I'd planned everything out, but apparently not, because I just missed that thing. Right, but this is part of the game anyway, doing the planning. Where is the satchel charge? Here we are. Satchel charge. Are you a 3? Add 5 to attack and penetration. I think though that means that, so the problem at the moment here is that the loadout that I can carry on that's shown on Patel here is 9. We got a -1 loadout, so it means I had to sacrifice a bayonet. But I'm trying to find a way to add another explosive thing for the price of that bayonet. But I fear that these numbers are actually the loadout value of the equipment. So that's not good, because that means I'm going to be slightly limited. Yeah, that's a loadout weight, isn't it? Poop. And this is the thing. It's just that it's a point buy, and when you as is often the case with point buys, you can just go, I've got exactly what I need here, but oh god, I'm 1 point overdue, or over the limit, and you just end up agonising over what you're going to have to sacrifice to do this. So even a grenade is 1 more loadout, and that, at the moment I can't afford that. I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I've got 8, and we have a -1 loadout. Unless I sacrifice something like the canteen. I think I'm going to sacrifice the canteen And I'm going to add another grenade, and I think that's the best way to do this, which may be a disaster, I don't know. But we'll see. It'd be hilarious if I get to the objective and then find that I can't actually blow it up. Because if I can't do that, then that's the end of mission. So, I'm going to get myself another grenade. And pop that there. So we've got that at least. I can't even do a satchel charge because their loadout is 3 and their cost is 3 as well. So I can't afford them in terms of the resource cost or the loadout cost. But in fact, I think, no, wait a minute, I think I've just gone over again, haven't I? Because I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What was I doing with my math then? Hang on, that's 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, sorry, yeah, I'm counting the card here. Right, it's all good. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, sorry. There. Alright, so that's good. We're all sorted out. So, going over this, the player soldiers you can buy more stuff for. They come with a whole bunch of skills and things, usually. In this case, I've got marksman and focus, which can help me in combat. I've also bought bolt action, which is going to help me with my rifle, which I have, which is a number 4 Mark 1 rifle. They're bolt action. That means that they can only fire. You basically have to spend an action to fire them, and then you have to spend a second action to reload them, and then you can fire them again. Not reload them, but cock them, or whatever the word is. But with the bolt action skill, he doesn't actually need to do that. He can just fire and then fire again. You can just do it straight away, which is really useful. He's got grenades. He's got 2 grenades now, number 36 Mark 1s, and he also has a first aid kit. White. So all these guys up here, they come with what it says on their sheet, on their card. White here, he has a Sten machine gun or a Sten submachine gun. He's also good at close combat, which is really good with that. And all of this is included in the cost of his character. So he's 11 in total. And he comes with close combat and a machine gun, so that's good. And that machine gun gives him 1 XP. Lee over here he has the marksman skill, and he's got the Mark 1 machine gun, which is a big long range shooty thing that can also fire in automatic bursts, so that's not bad. And Lonsdale over there, he has it's not really specified what weapon he has as a normal sidearm, but he's just got some kind of rifle or something like that. But he also has this Piat rocket launcher with 2 rockets, which is going to be quite handy when it comes to trying to take out the supply dump. So what is going to happen is I'm going to draw some cards equal to the health of my player soldier. So he's got a health of 5. So we're going to have 5 action cards. You've seen these before I have. So I'm going to say hopefully there's going to be a location thing in there, but there isn't. So one of the weird little foibles of this game is that you only can draw locations when you get them in your hands, or you can only place locations when you get them in your hand. So the first thing I'm going to have to do is just discard and redraw until we get to our first location. I don't think that costs actions or anything, but at this stage, does it? Just sort of looking up run into that. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to actually do that. So I have to discard some at least, and draw them, draw new ones, which is a bit annoying. Let's say I discard 2 and draw 2 more and see what happens. They're still no good. Flying start. Yeah, I believe you do have to do that. Alright, let's just discard a lot. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then let's hope we get one. Right, here we go. Right, so this is what we're looking for, a location marker. So once we get that, we immediately replace that with a location. So we're going to draw 2 of them, because we've got 2 location things. 2 location cards from here, and we can put them in our hand, and then we can see what we've got. So these are not fantastic. Right, so we have a dense forest, and we have a road. So you see on these location cards, I'll explain what these are like. So they got, some of them have got some blurb here, and they've got this hostiles chart, and you basically look at what the number on the left here is the resource points of the mission or of your squad. So I'm at 48. So we're going to draw up to 4 XP worth, or 4 experience points worth of hostiles, which we draw from this deck. And when we play this card, they'll show up there. And this also says it costs 1 XP to play, so I have to actually spend this to play it. It's a nature card. It's obstructed, which means you can't fire through it. But you subtract 2 from the next location's hostile value, so it actually makes the next location a little bit easier. The other one that we have is a road. This is free to play, so it doesn't cost actions or anything, but you always draw for reinforcements. So no matter what, even if you're, I think it's even if you're not actually in there, yeah, there'll be, you have to draw for reinforcements. And you see this little rein 1 and 5 to 9 at the top. That means that if we draw a hostile that has either an experience of exactly 1 or an experience of between 5 and 9, i.e. it's probably some big tank or something at that level, then it will show up. If we don't draw that, it won't show up. But these show up at the start of the hostiles phase. And I realise I haven't explained exactly how everything works, but we'll kind of go through it as we play. So now I've got a choice of do I want to spend the XP and put down a forest, or do I want to put down a road, which has a risk of reinforcements. And all the other things that I have here, I've got reloading, which is an action that I can do. You may perform a reload without spending an action. We have attack, which is when I inflict a hit at range 0, I inflict another hit on the same hostile. And this one is pay 4 XP to play this card. Play whenever you declare a ranged or thrown attack against a vehicle. Add 3 to your attack and defeat cover rolls. Makes it easier to hit vehicles, basically. Some of these have got little things in brackets, like U brackets any soldier. That means if you spend an experience point, which is one of these little stars, from anywhere among your squad, you can, I think it's anywhere among your squad, you can upgrade it, you can upgun it, and you can turn it into, instead of you may perform a reload, you can turn it into any soldier may perform a reload. I'm just going to see, I'm going to double check that actually, upgunning, Yeah, I think you just pay an experience point from any of your soldiers. It's like a pool, I think. Right, so between all that, so we have to move. We have to actually begin our mission. So what do we think is better? I think the dense forest is going to be better. Might cost us an XP. It'll be a little bit tougher, but then we can. If we play the road, we might actually be able to put it down to 0 hostiles, which would be nice, because that would be the next location. And if we have a look here, you'll see that the hostiles 30 to 49 is 2. And if we're going to have subtract 2 from the next location's hostile value, that'll put it down to 0. And I think it can go to 0. I'm not actually sure what happens if it is 0. Don't think there's a minimum. Okay, well, let's go for the forest. Let's see what happens. So what we're going to do is we're going to do stuff first, and then the hostiles are going to do stuff. You can see there's a little turn sequence on the side here that I don't know if you can read. But we can move, attack. Move isn't actually shown on there, it's an error. But we can move, attack, play an action card, reload, discard and draw, engage in hand-to-hand, which may depend on the location, and then we pay retain costs, which is to keep hold of cards if we have that option. So we can got all that options. All of my guys can do 2 actions, so that's what these little action tokens are. So each of my guys can do 2 of them. I made the mistake last time of getting guys that could only do 1 action, and that really crippled me in terms of what I could do. So we go through all that, and then the hostiles, which we're going to draw in a minute, will do their thing, which they'll attack us or move closer or target people or do whatever nasty things they're going to do. So first thing, so this doesn't cost an action to do. But it does cost an experience point, so I'm going to spend an XP from white there, and play that. So now we have 4 XP of hostiles, so we're going to draw them from here. This is the frontline hostiles, and this is what they look like. So I'll show you on here. That's what they look like. If you can see that. So we got the usual picture at the top, and then the value of 2 in the over here. The value of 2 is the value we're looking at here. So we want that to be not go. We're going to draw cards that reach 4, essentially. If they go over 4, that's okay, but we want to draw cards that will reach up to 4. So we've drawn a 2 card for now, and I'll explain all the rest in a minute. That's interesting as well. And then we draw another one. So this is a value of 1. so we're actually still drawing. So we're off to a flying start here. And we draw another one, and now we've got a value of 4 in total, right? So, because they're 1 as well. So what we've got now is I have put down ambushers, recruits, and riflemen. And they're all German, because that's the bad guys here. They're the German hostiles. You also note that, for obvious reasons, the German flag here is actually, it's like the red flag with the iron cross in it, not the swastika. So, because obviously they're not going to be able to do a swastika thing. So that's the German flag here. The interesting thing now is how this all works. So, the ambushers come out, and they're ambushers. They go in the frontmost location, as it says frontmost on them. If we look at we got this handy dandy keyword sheet here that explains what all these words mean on the cards. If we look at frontmost, it says the soldier in the location card furthest from the mission card. Well, there's no. That sort of assumes that there's soldiers spread out along here, but there aren't any. So they're actually going to ambush us right here, because that's where all our soldiers are. That's our group. We've also got recruits, which screen non-recruit hostiles. So these guys are actually, they are literally cannon fodder. They go in the front of the non-recruit soldiers, so we have to kill them first before we get to kill this lot. First, though, we got to deal with the ambushers. So we pay 1 experience point, which we already lost 1 from our team already, or they inflict one suppression on each soldier in this location. So we have these 2-sided counters. We have the I don't know if you can see those. We have the yellow one is the suppression counter, and the green one is EKIA, or enemy killed in action. So suppression is going to happen a lot. I'll warn you right now. We're going to be killing the bad guys, but and they're going to be killing us probably. But more often than not, we're going to be suppressing them, which is forcing them to keep their heads down, and they're basically not able to do anything. And that's sometimes as good as killing them. That'll do, it'll do to let us get past, or do, generally sort of not get wounded. So I think I'm going to burn up my other XP here, and so we don't get suppressed, because if we get suppressed, we have to spend an action to unsuppress before we can do anything else. So that basically lose, we lose 4 out of our 8 actions, because they're all in this location. Right, so what else is on this card then? Let me grab my traditional printing tools, and then I can show you. Right, so we have how much health they have, or how many hostiles there are essentially, is what is in this target reticule. So there's 3 riflemen, 2 recruits, and 3 ambushers. These columns here tell you what their stats for hitting and damaging and so on are, depending on how much health they have. So in this case, like the recruits here, if you roll a 3 or less on the hit dice, they will miss if there's 2 of them. On a 4 to 8, they'll do 1 wound, and on a 9 plus, they'll do 2 wounds. If you manage to kill 1 or suppress 1, and only 1 is firing back, then that miss goes up to 6 or less, and they only do 1 wound on a 7 plus. So as their health goes down, or as they're suppressed, you go down the columns here until they're gone. When they're killed, whoever's killed them gets this number of experience points, so we can get our XP back by getting rid of these. Right, so now we can't shoot through the forest, like, because it's obstructed, so we can't go and kill anybody who happens to be in this location, and they can't shoot at us, but it doesn't stop us shooting people in the forest. Also, Country Stroll, move the timer counter backwards 1 space each time you play a nature card. So this is a nature card, so we actually have 12 turns to do this in somehow. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but that's what it says. So we're adding more time or something because it's nature. I don't know what the logic is of that. But now we have some options. So I can't do anything to attack the riflemen because I have to get rid of the recruits. Meanwhile, I've got these guys in the way, and they're quite nasty because they can do a wound on 6+. I want to try and get rid of this lot. They also have range 0, which means, so range 0 is they can only attack people in the current location, which is here. Range 0 to 1, which is what the recruits and the riflemen have, means that they can attack people that are here or in the neighbouring locations. If they had 0 to 2, they'd be able to go 2 locations away and so on. So, like our machine gun, for example, can fire at range 2, but it's not got a terribly good chance to hit at range 2. So I think I'm going to want to try and get rid of these ambushers pretty quick. That would be good. So I'm now going to start opening fire on them. I think we could step up with White. Now White is a non-player soldier. He has close combat and a close combat weapon, which is our Sten submachine gun. So the way this works is it's range 0, so again it only hits targets in the same location band. It says reload 2 and hit 8. So how combat works here is that we're going to roll both a d6 and a d10, which is these things. And this isn't going to be a combat roll. I'm just going to demonstrate how this works. So let's say the mode underneath, it says semi and auto. Semi is 1, auto is 3. Let's say they're going to fire a semi roll. All right, actually let's make this a combat roll. So this is going to be the official thing. So we're going to roll 1d10, and we're always going to roll a d6, because the d6 is to see what happens with cover. So let's roll. We have a 1 and a 6. So the 1 on the d6 means that we haven't beaten the target cover. The cover is what this value is in the bottom corner. So in this case it's 3. So we have to roll above a 3, or equal to above a 3, I think, to be able to break the cover that is in their location that they're hiding behind, because obviously they're not going to be running around out in the open. But we roll the 6 on the attack die, and that is not a hit. So we have to roll above the hit value, which is or equal to above the hit value, which is 8, 9, or 10. So because we didn't break the cover and we missed on the attack roll, it's a completely failed attack. It's a complete miss. Nothing happens. If I had rolled, say, a 5 and still rolled a 6, that would have beaten the cover, but still would have missed them. And if we look up here, we've got this little attack chart. And that means we've beaten cover, but we missed, so we suppress them. So they're keeping their heads down in that case. And if I had done that, I would have put a suppression marker on on their card, and that's one person, one of the hostiles is suppressed. If I had rolled, say, a 5 and a 9, then that would mean that I have not only beaten their cover, so I've succeeded in beating the cover, but I've also hit them. So that's a kill in that case, and then I would put a enemy killed in action counter down, and there's one of them is out for good. So they're going to be down to 2 instead of 3 people at that point. And if I had, what have we got so far? We got a miss. If I had rolled a 1 and a 9, so I didn't break the cover, but I hit the cover essentially, they're still suppressed. So that's what this means. It's like there's a twice as big a chance to suppress them essentially on that table as there is to kill or just completely miss them. So in this case, he did an action and he missed. But he's going to try again, because he can try again. Now the interesting thing is the reload. If he gets a result of 2 or less on the attack roll, then he's forced to reload after that. So he would flip that over to an empty, because that's what that says. It says empty. He'd flip the counter over to empty, and then he'd have to spend an action next turn to reload the gun, and would remove that empty counter, and he's now down to 3 ammos. And when you're out of ammo, you're out of ammo. You can't, unless you find more or you swap it with somebody else who has similar ammo. And this has 9mm ammo, and everything else does not have 9mm ammo. So he's going to try again. Now the auto mode is an interesting push your luck kind of thing. So auto lets you roll 3d10 and 1 cover dice, so it gives you more chance to hit, but also more chance that you're going to have to reload, and that's not great. So I think for now he's going to just try and do another semi-attack. So it's going to be 1d10. We got 4 and a 3, so we beat the cover, but we didn't hit, so they're suppressed. One of them is suppressed. So he's done that, so that's 2 actions used there. Also, he adds 1 to the range 0 attack rolls, but none of them were high enough, unfortunately. Right, next up, I guess we can try with Lonsdale. I mean, he's got a 5 to hit, so that's pretty good. That's not with his rockets though, as far as I understand. The rockets are a separate thing. So let's roll that. He's got a 6 and an 8, which is awesome. That would have been great for these guys. But a 6 and an 8 beats the cover and kills one of them. Good job, Lonsdale. There's nothing actually stopping him from firing again. Let me just check. Range taps. Yep. So yeah, he can. I'm doing him right. So he can actually fire again. And he rolls a 3 and a 5, which does hit. He just gets past the cover, and he just manages to hit. Let me just verify. Equal to or above the cover. Equal to or exceed the hit number. Yeah, you kill. So, hooray. So we've got 2 of these guys down. One of them suppressed. So that's his second shot. Now it's down to the rest of us. Do we want to try and kill that one guy who suppressed? It might be a good idea, really. Like now they can't fire back at us because 2 of them are dead and the other one is just going. So that's taken them out of the combat essentially for this round. But next round, 2 of them aren't getting up, but 1 of them will unsuppress themselves, and they will be able to attack at the end of the next round. So what shall we do? Break out the machine gun, or I could get Patel to fire. Yeah, I'll get Patel to fire his bolt action. So this one needs a 7 to hit, and it's got a reload of 1. And you can only roll 1d10. Ooh, 2 and a 2, so no reload, but that's a miss. So that's another suppress. But because he's got bolt action, he doesn't need to discard any action cards. Normally you'd have to discard an action card to be able to do your second attack with a bolt action gun, but he doesn't need to. So he's going to do another attempt. 4 and a 7 will hit because he has +1 to his range roll, so that'd be an 8, and he's beaten the cover. So we've killed all 3 ambushers, so they go off the board, and that's good. That's very good. And Patel gets a experience. No, 2 experience points, in fact. So he's actually got the flip side of this is a double star thing. Incidentally, if anyone has any idea, like, because I've just noticed this here. Yeah, so the skill cards, they have this thing on the back. It's like a little plate of something. I don't know what it is. If anyone has any idea what that is, do let me know. I want to say it's like a razor blade, but it isn't. It doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like it is. But yeah, they've got it on the front as well. So yeah, if you can let me know what that is, that'd be awesome. I was puzzling over that earlier. Was that some kind of clip or something? I don't know. There might be a clip of some kind. But anyway, we've killed the first load, and we've still got 3 actions left. Now Patel, granted, he can when he declares an attack, he can pay 1 experience to ignore screening restrictions. So he could pay 1 XP to actually target the rifleman. I don't know if that's going to be a great idea, though, because he needs an 8 to hit at range 1. And to move, so the other option we can do, sorry, he's fired already anyway, so he can't do anything. I was going to say, the other option we can do is move into the dense forest area. Can actually see what my cards are here as well. Oh, I could have played the attack card, like play when you inflict a hit at range 0, inflict another hit on the same hostile. Could have done that if I'd paid attention. I'll just leave these all down here and then I can see them. They're a bit off screen for you guys, but so it's down to Lee. He's gonna do a semi burst or a semi thing. You could do a spray attack. How does that work? It's the first time I've actually used a heavy machine gun. Spray. The weapon can inflict more than 1 hit and or suppress with each attack. Normally you can only inflict 1. So even if, like, on full auto, even if I'd rolled 3 dice, if I'd got, like, you know, you're basically just trying to maximize your chance to do 1 hit. If I'd rolled 3 10s, it wouldn't be 3 hits, it would just be 1 hit. Whereas if I do a spray or an explosion, like explosions is a similar kind of thing, then that can actually damage them multiple times. But you still only roll one defeat cover dice. Interesting, but it's only going to affect one card. So that might be interesting. But I guess with a spray you have to roll on fully auto, right? That seems to be the thing. Now they have a bipod on there on the machine gun. So if you mount the bipod, you spend an action to deploy the bipod in a location, and it remains deployed until you move to a different location. So I can just go trunk, daka, and try and shoot them from here, which might be useful. Again, I still have that slightly high chance of forcing a reload. And I assume like their reload value is 2, but they need an 8. They actually need a 7 because they're marksmen at that range. So I could try that. I mean, let's see what happens, shall we? So they're going to go full auto. They're going to mount the or deploy the bipod. So they're going to spend an action to deploy that, and then they're going to go full auto. And I believe that's how that works, because it's not much point in doing it if you're only using one dice, is there? Yeah, I think that's how that works. So let's see how this turns out. So we got a 6 for the cover, so the cover is gone. We were targeting the recruits, by the way. Cover is gone. We got a 3, that's a miss, a 6 and a 9. We need an 8. We need a 7, didn't we? Poop. But a 9 hit, so that's good. And because these are all treated individually, that's actually a miss, and a hit, and a breaking cover. So theoretically, that actually counts as a suppress, and a kill. But there's only like 2 of them there, so we'll just take it as a kill and a suppress. So that was good. That took them out of the action. But now all of our guys have used an action. Sorry, that was his second action to fire, and we didn't get a reload. So all the guys have fired. That's me done for my first turn. Then we have to go over to the hostiles' turn. So reinforcements. Ordinarily, if there was a soldier in here, we'd draw another hostile, and if it was a value of 0 or 1, it would stay out, it would draw, and it would come out on the field, and we'd be having to deal with them as well. But we don't have a soldier here, so we don't do reinforcements, so that's that phase. Then they attack. So the recruits can't attack because one of them is dead and one of them's cowering behind a wall, but the riflemen can attack. Now they're at full strength, and they have a 5 minus is a miss and a 6 plus is a wound. And I've just realised I've forgotten to draw their target. So when we draw the hostiles, we're supposed to put who they're aiming at on them. We draw that from a mug or a cup or something, some kind of thing, and you've got the counters are all in here. So I'm going to just do that now. So the recruiters were aiming at soldier number 4, who is Lonsdale, and the riflemen are going to aim at soldier number 2, who is Patel. No, not Patel. White. Right, so this tells you like they're always going to be aiming at these people. That's how this works. It's a bit weird. Sometimes it gets some odd results, but you know, whatever reason, the riflemen have got a bead on White. I keep wanting to call him Corporal White. I don't know why, but we've got a bead on White, and they're going to want to attack him. So their attack roll is going to be directed to him. So they roll the same thing, cover dice and a single attack dice. And if it's a 6+, they will wound him. Oops. And if it's a no, if it's 6+ and it beats his cover, they'll wound him. And if not, they'll do something else. Ooh, that's a 4 and a 0, which is his cover is actually 4, it's quite high, but they managed to beat his cover, and they've wounded him. So boom, White takes a hit straight away. That's awesome. Now, fortunately, the number here, 321, is how many health he has. So he has 3 health. So he's still okay. He's not actually hampered by that at the moment, because with 3 to 2 health, he still has 2 actions. When he gets down to 1 health, he'll have 1 action, and that's not going to be good. Fortunately, I have a first aid kit though that I can use to heal him up. Right. So that's their attack. Then they close range if they have to. Now, because their attack range is 0 to 1, they don't actually have to move into the location to close. If they had a range of 0, that you would have to move this card into this line, and then they'll have a range of 0, and then they'll be able to attack next turn. But they don't have to move, so we're not going to close range. And then remove any suppression counters. So this one gets removed, so he's active again. The one remaining recruit is active, which means that he's screening the ones behind him. And then advanced mission timer. So now we move the mission timer up to 11, and we have done the whole first round of the thing. Okay, that's how that works. And then we just repeat the process, and we're slowly moving along theoretically. And yeah, we're seeing where we end up. Hopefully we'll get to the objective. But now our next challenge is to actually try and get into that dense forest space. So, top of the round, we flip over all the action things. And then we will see what we want to do. So now, you know, we've got a we now have to see what actions we want to spend and so on. And you can see why this comes in as a multiplayer co-op game, because if everyone's, you know, in a multiplayer game, and the one we did, there was 2 people. We did this country stroll mission, and we essentially just divvied up the points for allocating people, allocating to squad members and so on. We just halved it, so each one of us had 24 points to spend. We both made whatever, we both got like 2 or 3 people, one of which was a player soldier, because we always have to have a player soldier, and then we just did stuff together. You know, we would be talking about it and arguing about it or whatever, and they're going, no, we should go over here, no, we should duck behind here, or whatever. So, you know, that's how it works with more people. So it's just the same but expanded, which is quite nice. Right, I think now we probably want to try and get into that square. So movement, that was as good a time as any to explain how movement works. So on the side of the squad members, you can see that there's a little 2 and an arrow here. They've all got a movement of 2. This is their movement value. So, and on here, at the top of the cards here, you see Ent 3. That's the entrance cost. So ordinarily it means that you have to discard 3 cards. If it's an Ent of 3, you have to discard 3 of your action cards, which are in your hand, and in order to enter that, or to move a squad member into that, I keep wanting to call the hex card, into that location. Now, the movement values here of 2 means that you don't have to discard 2 of those. So really, all these guys to move into that square or that card have to spend 1 card. We have to discard 1 card to do that, which is interesting because they're quite good cards that I don't really want to get rid of. The open hatch one, I suppose I could. Hopefully I'm not going to run into any vehicles. But attack and reloading is really good. I don't really want to do that. So maybe if I move 1 person in there, like maybe if I move white in there, I can do that. So before I do that, Patel is going to spend an action to heal white of his wound. Sorry, it should have been on that face. He's going to heal white of his wound. Let me just double check how that works, because I don't know if I've been doing that wrong previously. Place a wound counter there, right. I'm going to heal the wound once. It completely heals it, discard. Right, okay. So, the way the first aid kits work is you spend an action and you spend 1 of the bandages that you have on the first aid kit, which is like ammo. So I've spent that, and then you roll on a d10, and a roll of 6 or less means you heal 1. A roll of 7 to 10 you heal 2, and then 11 or more you heal 3 if you have modifiers, basically. So no matter what, you're going to heal 1 wound, so this goes away. So you spend a bandage, you heal a wound. That only really matters if you have more than 1 wound that you try and heal. So he's healed up, and you can only heal up people in the same location. Then we're going to get rid of the open hatch action card in order to move white into the dense forest. So that's his move, so he spends an action there. So at the moment we have Patel spent an action to heal him, and then white spends an action to move into the forest. Now white can let rip with his submachine gun on the recruits. He has to fire at the recruits. So that's what he's going to do for his second action, and hopefully he's going to be able to kill him. Now, does he want to go full auto? He basically has to roll a 7 or more because of his close combat to hit instead of an 8. If he goes full auto, then he maximizes that chance of hitting, or at least suppressing. Could use up an ammo. How many have I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Let's go full auto. Let's go for it. So he's going to go daka 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 with his submachine gun on the hapless recruits. And he rolls a 2, so that's their cover beaten. And you got a 7, a 5, and a 3. No reload, but the 7 is a hit because he needs. He's got a +1 on his range. A +1 on his range 0 attack rolls. So that has actually killed these guys because there's only 2 of them. So they are gone. White gets a experience point because they're worth 1 XP. Good job, White. They're gone. And now the riflemen are wide open. They're not being protected by the recruits or anything, or screened by the recruits. So White's used up his action to fire. So now everyone else next door is able to shoot at the riflemen, which is nice. So Lonsdale can't shoot because he's got range 0 with this. You could shoot with the rocket launchers, but I'm saving those for the supply dump. And my attack card wouldn't have worked in here because you have to inflict another hit on the same hostile, and they already had 1 hit. It'd be great with the riflemen though, but alas, no. Okay, Patel is going to. Now, what I could do is spend an action to discard / draw. So I can discard any number of cards, 0, and I can just draw 2 more. So I can go back up to 5, or I can just get rid of any number of these. But I want to keep the road for later on. I want to keep reloading and attack because they're good. So I think I'm going to just do a discard 0 and just draw back up to 2. That's 1 action. So I've drawn a draw fire and a decisive. Pay 2 XP to play this card. You or any soldier may perform an attack, move, or reload without spending an action. And the draw fire is played before rolling for a hostile's attack. Redirect the attack to another soldier in the same location. Ooh. Okay. Right, so that's his second action. So really, Lonsdale. I mean, I could use one of these to move Lonsdale in. But of course, like the riflemen are aiming at White anyway. But Lonsdale can't really do much otherwise. So I'm going to spend decisive, I think, to move him, Lonsdale in. So that's 1 action to move him in. And now he's at range 0, he can actually shoot at the riflemen, and he's got a good chance of hitting. And if he does hit them, I can play the attack card and take out another one. So we're looking for 2+ on the cover, and we're looking for 5+ on the attack. We got 4+ on the cover, but we missed. Even with, we just missed. So that does suppress 1 though, so that's good. So they're not rolling on the 3 column anymore to hit, which is nice. And that just leaves Lee. So is Lee going to let rip with the machine gun? I mean, he's still got that bipod deployed. So he could go full auto again and try and Daka them all down. And he would need a 7 to hit. And hopefully he doesn't get an ammo thing. Alright, let's do it. He's going to spray. So he can attack at range 1. He's going to roll a 3, which hits. So that breaks their cover. We've got a 7, which is a hit. We've got a 6, which is not a hit. And we've got a 0, which is a hit. So that's good. 2 down. That's really good. and no reloads as well. So they're not firing back at us, basically. The two of them are down, and one of them is deeply unhappy at being shot at. Right, excellent. So that's one hit, or one attack. He could fire again. I'm not going to push his luck. I'm just going to do a normal semi fire, so he's only going to get one chance. 6 and a 0 is a perfect hit. Killed. So it's totally blown through the cover, and it was an absolutely perfect hit. Excellent. 3 down. They are all dead, and Lee, on his last action, gets 1 experience point. There we go. So we've now wiped out all the forces there, but reinforcements may show up because now there are soldiers in this location. So in their phase, reinforcements. If I get a 0 or 1 here, then somebody's showed up. That's a 1. There's another bunch of riflemen. That's really, really annoying. So first, we draw their target. So riflemen have just reappeared. And again, it's number 2, so they really got it in for white. There, you may notice here it says event as well. I'll show you that. On the side, it says event. So that means we get to draw a an event card, which may be bad. So the event cards are up here. There's not an awful lot of them. There are more. Again, I'm not playing the base game only. I've got expansion stuff here, so there's more. Some of the Germans here do not come with the base game. Some of the events and locations and so on don't come with the base game either. But if I draw the event now, it is double time. You may pay 4 XP to retreat the timer counter 1 space. No, I mean I have 4 XP, but I don't want to do that. That's fine. So that's okay. That's a harmless event. Sometimes it's things like strafing run as an airplane flies over and blows the crap out of everybody. Or minefield. Minefields are fun because they can just completely murder you. But now the problem is we now have riflemen. So this is what happens. Like you kind of deal with the immediate hostiles, and then some more buggers show up, and it kind of I guess it discourages you from lingering in a location, because the more you stay there, the more you're likely to be getting reinforcements showing up. But the problem with these guys now is that they're at full strength, and they're aiming at poor old Corporal White there. So they're going to attack. So they get to roll their die. I just healed you, damn it! Frack. That's a 6 and an 8. That is a hit again. So boom, White takes another hit. Great. That's their attack. Close range, they don't need to because they're already in the same square. Remove suppress, they don't need to. So we're back to square one here. Advanced timer, so we're down to turn 10. We're back to square one on that front, I'm afraid. So we've got the rifleman to kill. Next turn, we flip all our action dudes over. So you can see it's a pretty elegant kind of mechanic, and it once you know what you're doing, you can get through it pretty quickly. And most of it makes sense. There are a few little foibles that are a little bit odd, but most of it makes sense. So you can progress at a fair clip. So I'm pretty hopeful that we'll be able to finish. We might be able to finish this tonight. Let's see what time we got. 9:42. Yeah, we might be able to finish it. We'll have to see. But of course, if I don't finish it tonight, I can always finish it off on Monday night, because that's like the overflow. Also I'm also pausing to explain stuff and so on as well, so that's why it might take a bit longer. Right, so it's back to the top here. So what are we going to do? Also, I'm kind of wondering if these glasses are not actually the best to use for this. Yeah, that might be better. Right, sorry. Now I can see this a bit more. Right, we need to deal with those riflemen. Also need to deal with maybe moving people out into the next location, which will be the road. Yeah, so I'm gonna assume that if there's, let's see, you've got a, when you're drawing cards for a location, what do we do? Sorry, I gotta pour through the rules occasionally. Hostiles. So I guess 0, because the road has an XP value of 0, or a hostile value of 0 now, because I subtract 2 from the next locations. It just means that essentially the first hostile I draw is the only hostile there, because whatever his XP value is over 0. So I think that's what I'm going to do, and I think to play a location card I just need to be in the location next to it, I believe. It's free to play. Yeah, I think you have to be in the location next to it to play it. I'm sure I read that somewhere. So right now I could do that, and I can do it for free. It may draw, well, it will draw another hostile though, so that could be interesting. Might want to leave it till the end, perhaps, maybe. Okay, so I might leave that till the end of the thing. But if I do that, I can move my guys into it without spending any action cards, because it's got an entry value of 0. So we can we don't have to spend action cards to do that. Meanwhile, I've got to deal with this bunch of crummy people here. I think Lee might well just continue his spraying with the machine gun, just to go get that done first. So he's gonna roll a 7 or more. So he's firing from here to there, and let me just double check the obstructed thing. Blah blah blah. Yeah. So obstructed only affects attacks going through the location. It doesn't affect attacks going into the location. So let's get Lee's firing his machine gun. Oh, that's beautiful. 5, 6, 8, 3. So 2 suppresses and a hit and a kill, basically. So that's good. And no reloads, so that's even better. So they've shut up. Good job, Lee. Do you want to try and shoot one again with your second action, or do you want to move in? If I move him in, I'll play the draw fire to move Lee in on his second action. So he's moving in there. The bipod is now undeployed. So he's not going to be able to do his spray attack anymore until he decides to spend an action to deploy that. Patel is going to well, I think we're going to play the road card as a free-to-play action anyway, so let's play the road. Let's draw a hostile who is ambushers. Great, fantastic. Now again, ambushers go in the frontmost location, so wherever the soldier that is closest to the mission objective is where they're going to go. So they're going to actually go here, because that's where all the nearby soldiers are. And we pay 1 XP or inflict 1 suppression on every soldier. No, we're paying an XP. So they're a thing to deal with. So Lee's gone. White and Lonsdale can still go though. Lonsdale's gonna take a pot shot at I mean, they're not gonna fire back this round. Sorry, I've got to draw a hostile thing for them. And they are rolling on number 3, so they're actually going to be targeting Lee. So Lonsdale's going to take a shot at the ambushers. He rolls a 2, which is not breaking the cover, but an 8 will hit otherwise, so one of them is suppressed. He's going to fire again at the ambushers. 4 and a 3. Again, breaking cover doesn't hit, or doesn't kill, but it does suppress, so that's good. Good job, Lonsdale. And White, White's gonna take a shot with his SMG. He needs a 7. He's gonna try and attack the ambushers. He rolls a 7 and a 5 on the cover roll, so that is good enough to kill one. So they're all neutralized. And he's going to try that again on well, now it's just a matter of trying to kill him, really, isn't it? He's going to try and take out another ambusher. 6. Oh wow, 6 and a 9. Well, absolutely. Let's do that. 2 ambushers down. And now what do we want to do? Patel's going to move in. So I think Patel's going to do a discard and redraw, but he's only going to basically just redraw 3. And we have a location marker. So we've got camouflage, infiltrate, and a location marker. We immediately replace that with a location, and we have high ground. Here we go, high ground, one action to play, nature, elevated, obstructed. So that means, sorry, I'll show over here. That means that it's another nature card, so that can move our timer back. And it's elevated, so it cancels out an obstructed. So if I played it here, well, if I played it where the road was, it would mean that I could look over the dense forest. This wouldn't be obstructed anymore. But it's itself, it's obstructed, so you can't fire over the other side of it. So you can see, like, it's quite clever how it works. Like it makes sense. Like, the dense forest, you can't fire through it, but high ground, you can't fire through high ground because it's going to obstruct the thing. So yeah, it all makes sense. So that was one action, and he's going to move. Now the question is, do I want to keep this high ground one, or do I want to get rid of it? Well, I think I'm going to pay with a camouflage card to move him into the dense forest, and that's his second action. So now everyone's gone. Reinforcements. So we're all in the dense forest now. So we're going to draw a card for reinforcements, and if it's XP is not 0 or 1, then it doesn't get drawn. It doesn't go down. And it is crap. It's bloody recruits again. It's quite interesting that we've only drawn the same 3 types of cards. So unfortunately, recruits have shown up, who are going to screen everybody else. So while everyone else is cowering from all the gunfire and so on, the recruits are going to step up and throw themselves in the path of all the bullets. They're at full strength now, though, which is not good. And they get to attack, drum roll. Number 4, wow. Lonsdale, he's popular. Right, they're going to take a pot shot at Lonsdale then. That's not good. 2 and a 2. That is, it breaks his cover, because he's only got cover of 1, but that is a miss. So that's good, but he is suppressed. And the other guys can't do anything because they're suppressed or dead. Nobody's going to close range because they're... Oh, hang on. No, they're not going to close range because they're all in the same square. And then remove suppress counters. So we just move 1 from each of the enemies, I believe. I don't think it's removing all of them, is it? 1 suppress counter for each hostile card, and then we move this along. So we've already ticked down 3 turns actually, because we got a bonus one, didn't we? And then it's back to me again. So again, the turns go by pretty quickly. So sorry, I'm looking down on the left here. I've got the laptop down here that monitoring chat and so on. So yeah, if you've got any questions, do feel free to ask, or any comments or anything. Would love to hear from you. Hopefully it's all making sense. Right, so we're under heavy attack in this forest here, which is not good, but all my guys are here. I'm going to get I didn't draw reinforcements here because none of my soldiers are in here. You only draw the hostiles when you play the card, so that is that's fine, nothing's happening there. But now I've got to deal with these extra dudes here. So I gotta get the recruits. Right, first thing I'm going to do is blow an action to unsuppress Lonsdale. We can't do anything else unless he is he's got rid of his suppression counters. And then I'm going to have him attack the recruits. He rolls a 4 for the, oops, that was a 4 for the cover, and a 3, which is a suppress. One of them suppressed. Suppress you right back. Lee. I don't know how much I want to keep pushing the auto rolls. I mean, I've been lucky so far in that I haven't had any reloads, but Lee is gonna do a single shot at the recruits, and that's a 2, which is beating their cover, and a 4 because of his +1 there, but that's not enough to hit them, but that's another suppress. So now they're suppressed, they stop screening the other guys behind them, so that means now that they can be targeted. So I'm going to target who's worse? The rifleman. So Lee is going to fire at the rifleman, and he gets a 3 and a 4, but that is enough to suppress them. And then we get White is going to I think it's better to just try and get everyone suppressed and then work on killing them. So White's gonna attack the ambushes just with a single semi thing. 4 and a 7. He needs a 7 because he's got +1, so his hit roll essentially is 7 rather than 8. But that's beaten the cover. He was attacking the ambushes, and that killed them. Boom. So he gets 2 XP for killing the ambushes, which is good. And he also gets them off Lee's back. It goes back in the mug. So that was 1 shot. And second shot, he's going to go for the rifleman. And he rolls a 5 and a 2. He rolled a 2. So they just suppress again, but he has to reload because his reload value is 2. That's annoying. I do have that reloading card. You or any soldier, if you spend an XP, may perform a reload without spending an action. I might do that next round or something because there's no point now. Right, who have we got left? So just Patel. Patel is going to take a shot at the recruits. And he rolls a 5 and a 6. range 0, he's got +1 to his ranged attacks rolls. His normal roll would be a 7. So he got a 6, that's a hit. And a 5 breaks a cover, so one of these is dead. So that's good. And because he's got the bolt action skill, he can fire again. And he's going to fire at... he's going to fire at the recruits again. Oh, that's terrible. 2 and a 1. So now he's got to reload as well. Because that's, yeah. That was a miss. No, that hit him. That broke the cover, at least. But it was a miss on the attack roll. And it was a complete miss. So he's out of ammo as well. Bugger. Oh, that's a pain in the arse. Now they both have to blow an action or do something. Right. Okay. Well, we're kind of pinned down in this forest for the moment. Reinforcements. Oh, please no. That's a 2. So this, hilariously, this is a one of the most fun Nazi types around, the flamethrower, who is always terrifying. But he doesn't show up because he is a 2 XP card, and the reinforcements only are 0 to 1. So thankfully we are not faced with a flamethrower, which would be pretty terrible in a forest as well. So we don't get to deal with him, so that's good. And now they can't attack or do anything because they're all suppressed or dead. They can't close range because they're all in the same thing, so they just remove a suppression counter, and then we advance the timer track. So we're already down to turn number 8, so we're kind of getting stuck here. And then we flip that over. We flip over all the actions again. So it might be a good idea to move out. And then at least that will stop reinforcing. So if I do that, everyone is going to spend an action to move, essentially, aren't they? They are. Yeah, what do I want to do? Because I can still move out of here, and they're still going to be attacking me. But you know, we're leaving the forest, and we're going into the road. And damn it, I forgot the always draw for reinforcements thing on that. That's been up how long? 2 turns, I think. I think it's been up 2 turns, isn't it? Yes, so I should actually technically draw some reinforcements on this. So, yeah, it's been up for 2 turns. So, if this is a 1 or between 5 and 9, it will stay. Otherwise, it won't. It's a 2, so it's not. And if this is a 1 or 5 to 9, it's a 2. It won't. So these are stormtroopers. These are horrific. These are really bad dudes. So they're not good. So they don't show up though. So good. So no reinforcements have shown up on the road. Sorry, I forgot about that. Excellent. So that means if we all spend an action, we can move out into the road. So that's good. Let's do that, shall we? So everyone spends an action. We don't have to spend cards because it's an entrance cost of 0. And now it does limit things a bit, actually. So what I'm going to do, sorry, well, I'm going to rewind a little bit on 2 and 4. So 2 and 4, because they're range 0, they're going to fire on these guys first, and then they're going to move out. So I'm going to go with he's going to have to reload, isn't he? I'm going to spend 1 XP from here to do the reloading action. So any soldier may perform a reload without spending an action. So white is going to do a reload without performing an action. So sorry, that doesn't flip over, that goes away. So he's reloaded. Now he's going to roll an attack on the recruits. Hopefully we'll roll high. 5 and an 8, that is perfect. That will kill the recruits, so he gets his XP back. That's nice. And they're dead because both of them are down. So we're mowing through the Germans here, but they are obstructing us somewhat. And then he's going to move into the next square. And number 4 here, Lonsdale, is going to fire at the rifleman. And he's going to roll a 1 and a 2, so that's complete. No, that's suppress. He's got a 2 on the cover. So missed, but got them to put their heads down on his attack, and then he's going to do his move. And then I guess what we're going to do here is Patel is going to spend an action to reload, and Lee is going to take a shot with his machine gun at one of the riflemen. So he needs a 7 modified to hit. 1 and a 2. God damn it! He's now got to reload. So he missed completely. But all these guys are suppressed or killed, so they're not going to take a shot back. And then we're back to reinforcements. So over here, hostile phase. And White's hobbling along. He's been a bit wounded there. White is wounded. What was I going to say about him? No, that was it. Reinforcements phase. Sorry. Now that there's no soldiers here, this isn't going to reinforce anymore. But now this one is going to reinforce anyway. So again, the value of 1 or 5 to 9 will stay. Everything else will not. And that's a 1. And bloody recruits again. What the hell? Like I swear to God, there are more cards in here. Like there are different cards. It's not just ambushers and recruits and stuff. In fact, we've drawn like some of the ones we missed. Like I said, we got the stormtroopers, and we had there's a small truck, which is a pain in the butt because they can reinforce, and we had the flamethrowers as well. So you know there's other things in here. It's just we've been having some weird luck on this one. So the recruits are on the road there. They can attack. They're going to attack. ... Number 3, Lee. They're targeting Lee. They get to roll 4 and a 6. That is 1 wound. Damn it, 1 wound on Lee. That's really annoying. Whoops. That's the wrong thing. 1 wound on Lee. So that's not good. I don't want Lee to get killed here. I'm going to have to use my first aid kits up as well. Alright, they're not going to close, neither are they, because they can still hit. And they get to remove a suppression counter, and the clock goes forward, and there we are. So you see, like, we're at the halfway point here, essentially. But we just have to struggle on our way through here. Right, next turn. Have a look. What we going to do? At the moment, I think I would like Patel to heal Lee, because if I don't heal Lee, Lee's only got one action, because he's down to, when he's down to 1 health, he has 1 action, and I don't like that. So Patel is going to heal Lee, and again he does it for free, essentially. He just has to spend an action and a bandage. He doesn't have to roll. So Lee's healed up. White doesn't need healing quite as yet because he's still on full actions, so I'm going to leave him for a bit. Lonsdale, I think, is going to take a... Well, Lonsdale and White can take a crack at the recruits. So Lonsdale's going to fire at the recruits. And he rolls a 2 and a 9, which is enough to kill one. More than enough to kill one. And I think he's going to try that again, actually. 5 and a 4. Not quite enough, but that's enough to suppress. So they're out of the running. White's going to take a shot at the other recruit. 2 and a 2. Oh, for God's sake, he's jammed again. Oh, he's emptied his thing. He needs to reload. That's really annoying. And just did a suppress. So yeah, stop doing that then. I guess he can reload with his other action. But he's down to 2 ammo, which is not fantastic because he's running out of ammo. Lee is going to take a shot at one of the riflemen in the neighbouring forest. So he's a 7. 3 and an 8, that will do. That's killed one of them. There's only one left. So they're all suppressed. I think he's going to try that again. 6 and a 1, god damn it. Oh, sorry, he had to rewind that anyway. He had to spend an action to reload. So his first action was to reload, second one was to fire and hit, and that third roll didn't happen, basically. I'm losing ammo like no tomorrow here, which is a little troubling. So Patel is the only other person who can do anything. So do I want to play this high ground? Now the problem with the high ground is that it's going to need 4 entrants, so everyone's going to have to throw away 2 cards to get in, which ain't good. I'm going to discard 1, so I'm going to do a reload, not reload, discard and redraw. I'm going to discard one. I'm going to draw 3 more cards. And hopefully one of them is going to be a location marker, and one is. So we're going to draw another location. Oh, good. So this one is Vital Bridge. 1 action to play. Soldiers cannot enter this card if this card has 2 or more hostile cards. But on the plus side, it's free to enter for me because all my guys have movement 2 and its entrance cost is 2. So that's better than the high ground, I feel. Also we got Snapshot, which is you may perform an attack without spending an action, so that's quite good. And I got Move Out, which is you may move without spending an action as well, so that's also good. Alright. So everybody, once again, is suppressed or killed or whatever. We do still need to do reinforcements on the road though. Again, if it's a 1 or 5 to 9, it will stay, otherwise it won't. So 4. Thank God that's not staying. So that is a SDKFZ 2511 half track. It would have it would have been bad. Cover 5. It's got 2 hits. It would have rolled, if it rolls a 6+ on its attack at full strength, it would have done 2 wounds to me. So yeah, good riddance to that one. I'm glad that didn't show up. That drove past. Right, now nobody else can do anything. They can't attack, they can't close range. All they can do is remove suppression counters, so we're going to do that. And then the clock ticks forward again. So what are we at here? I mean, I've got to keep moving. That bridge is a pain. Because now the hostiles value on the bridge is 4. Which means it's quite likely that there's going to be more than 2 hostile cards on there when I draw them. And we can't enter that card if there's more than or 2 or more hostile cards. And it costs an action to play. So do I want to do that now? What do we think here, eh? I mean, I do want to kill those riflemen and recruits and stuff. Let's do that first, shall we? And then we can worry about placing that down. I'm just a little bit concerned about my ammo now. Alright, so we're all done. Everyone's still good. So far it's been a little tough, but we've got through. Taken a few hits, but we've healed up. Good thing I had the first aid kit. That is essential. You have to have a first aid kit with your squad, otherwise you're pretty much doomed. Because you're just going to end up losing actions all the time. Right, let's get somebody to kill those recruits, shall we? Lee, you want to do the honours? You can, please. So 2 and an 8, that's going to kill him. So Lee gets 1 more XP. Sorry, not, I meant Lonsdale. But sure, I'll take Lee. I wanted to give Lonsdale something to do because he's the only one that can hit them, him and White. But sure, that worked because it was a 2 and an 8, and that would have hit. So Lee gets the XP. These guys are now dead. I think I gave him the XP, didn't I? That wasn't there before. What are we going to do with that lot then? Because I wanted Lee to shoot the rifleman, really. I mean, I suppose he still could, couldn't he? But let's try. Let's see if Patel can shoot them. So he needs a 6. No, 7. Sorry, because they're range 1. A 7. Whoops. 4 and a 7. That is going to hit. So they are dead. And Patel gets an XP. Excellent. Hooray! Good. All targets dead momentarily. A brief lull in the action. Now, I think we're going to have to put this vital bridge down. So let's put that down. Now we draw. Now it's one action to play. And I think that's got to come from me. So from the player soldier. Right. Now we get to draw the hostiles. So it's got. We're looking for hostiles 4. Now the thing about this road actually is that it's always going to draw reinforcements, even if we're up here. So that could be trouble. That's a bit of a pain in the arse, isn't it? Okay, so sorry, we're not drawing from that deck. We're drawing from the hostiles deck. So, got to get up to a value of 4 on this. Oh, good, an armed jeep. That's just what we need. So that's a 3. There's a whole load of things on here. 1939 plus vehicle maintain 1. What does maintain mean? Not seen that one before. Maintain X. During the hostile move step, a hostile will not move closer to its targeted soldier if the movement would take it closer than its maintain notation. Oh, okay. So it's a range of 0 to 2, but it's a maintain 1. So it's always trying to stay. I think it's always trying to stay at least 1 away from the soldier. Move closer. Will not move closer to a targeted soldier if its movement would take it closer than its maintain notation. During the hostile close range step, move the hostile 1 location away from the target soldier if its range to the targeted soldier is less than its maintain range notation. If the hostile is at range 0 to the targeted soldier, move the hostile 1 closer to the mission card, which is that way. A hostile with maintain 1 and attack range of 0 is 1 location from its targeted soldier. It does not move closer to the hostile move step. Okay, yeah, so I think it means that it wants to stay it doesn't want to go 0 range. It wants to stay far away from its targeted soldier. And if it's going to end up being range 0, it will actually move this way, away from the soldier. Like if the soldier is here, it will move that way. Right, okay. Screened by 0 means any other troops that I draw here that have an XP of 0 are going to be screened. It's going to be screening the jeep. Can't move after suffering 1 hit. So then after that point, that maintain doesn't really matter. So yeah. Right, so we still have to draw one more hostile because we need a value of 4. Oh, good. Oh, good. Reinforcing. So this is one from another one from the expansions. It's got 4 health, 3 XP. It's quite damaging, and remove 1 enemy killed in action from this card at the end of each soldier turn. Yeah, they literally reinforce. Yeah, there's more people coming into that one. So bad news. It has 2 or more hostile cards. Worse news, one of them is a Jeep, and even worse news, one of them is reinforcing. Ugh. And they all have range 0 to 1. Oh, well, that's fun. That's really fun. And so we can't enter that hex location. Sorry, I keep calling it hex. Too much war games. Can't enter that location until one of those is dead. The Jeep is the easiest kill. Do I want to do? So white can't do anything because he is a range 0 person. Lonsdale can't do anything because he's range 0 unless he wants to fire a rocket, but I don't want to fire a rocket at this stage. I want to save those for the supply dump. Lee is... Oh, sorry, I rather well draw their target, sorry. Oh, joy. Lee is a target for the Jeep and for the reinforcements. Brilliant! That's brilliant. I love that. That is amazing. Well, they either of them roll well, they are going to kill him because 2 wounds will kill our intrepid sergeant here. Bums. Arg. Well, that's really not good, is it? And he can't set up his bipod because he won't be able to fire unless... What if we spend his action to set up his bipod, which will let him use the spray attack, and then play snapshot and spend an XP, which is to make any soldier, i.e. Lee, may perform an attack without spending an action. So now he can do a spray attack on one of them with his machine gun. I think he wants to hit the armed Jeep. I mean, he could do up to 3 kills. But the Jeep, if he takes the Jeep out, that means that it's conceivable that somebody can move into that square or into that location. Maybe white. Yeah, he's going to do a spray on the Jeep. So you see, there's a lot of like decisions that you have to make here that are interesting. Come on. That's a 6, an 8,
a 9 and a 2. So 2 hits, boom. Because he's got a cover of 2. We've beaten that. We've got a 9 and an 8, which is what he needed. And 2 is going to be a miss, but it's also going to be a reload, unfortunately. But that is what we needed, because that's killed the Jeep, which is perfect. And you're going to get 3 XP for that, which is good. Now there's only 1 card in the square, or in the location, so that means that White and Lonsdale can actually move in, and it's a 2. They both got movement 2, so they just have to spend actions, and I can spend an XP. Yeah, I can spend an XP to do the move out, which means one of them at least can move without spending an action. I'm going to do that on Lonsdale. So we're going to spend an XP there. So Lonsdale's going to move into this square without needing to spend an action. White's going to move into it while spending an action. So that's number 2. And that means Lonsdale's going to get 2 shots with his short range weapon there. 5 or more will take them out. It's a miss, and that's a 4, so that missed. That's really annoying. Come on, White. Come on, Lonsdale. Frack. 2 and a 1. Wow. You suck. You had 1 job, Lonsdale. You're firing wildly. Focus, man. Focus. Alright. Lonsdale just shot wildly in the air for no apparent reason. White is going to attack with his Sten. So he is going to need a 7. 5 and a 7. That is what we were looking for. Thank you very much. Because that kills one of them. Right, that's good, because now they don't have a chance of doing 2 wounds. Although at the end of each soldier turn, which is my whole turn, one of them is going to come back. So that sucks, doesn't it? So momentarily we got one, but another one popped up out of the woodwork. Alright, this could be bad. They could kill Lee if they are lucky, and that will be terrible, because Lee's my big machine gun man, and I don't think anyone else is going to be able to carry that machine gun. Well, ain't that a pain? Let's see what happens. So, end of the soldier turn. That enemy killed in action goes away because they are reinforced. Well, it's reinforced with a small r. It's not one of these reinforcements. It's just a function of them. So now they're back up to 4 people. Now we get to draw actual reinforcements. Now we get to draw them on the road. That's a 3. Well, that's good. That's a machine gun team, so that wouldn't be that wouldn't have been fun. So we only accept a 1 or a 5 to 9 on the road. So we don't do reinforcements here. We do here though. If that's a 1, it's a 0. It's not a 1 though. So this is a lone soldier who is actually quite bad. He's like there's only 1 hostile, but he will wound on a 5+. But he's relatively easy to kill. but he is a 1 and he is not a 0. So yeah, that it specifies 1. Like here it says 0 to 1. So if we rolled a reinforcement up here, he could have. If we'd drawn him as a reinforcement here, he would have showed up there, but he doesn't show up here. Right. Now they get to attack. So he is attacking Lee. Now we just cross fingers. Oh my god, that's a 0. Oh, hey, I rolled the wrong dice. Yay! That negates that, because I should have rolled a d6 and a d10. Sorry, so that didn't count, so that's good. Oh, that's a 6 and an 8. Shit. Who killed Lee? They've done 2 wounds. Well, this sucks. Oh god. Alright, I've got to look up the rules for this. Yeah, they've just done 2 wounds, so that is the worst possible combination. Crap. So 6 and an 8. They beat the cover, and they did 2 wounds on a guy that has only 2 wounds left in total. So what happens when that happens? Because I haven't actually had that happen before. Downed. Wounds can't be healed. No longer in the mission. Removed from the tactical display. So leaves behind all his equipment, ammo, and weapons. Right. He may not necessarily be killed, but he's out of action. He's down. And there's a thing, when the mission is over, you can roll the status of each downed or removed soldier. And we can see whether he was able to return to duty or got a medical discharge or was killed in action. But either way, Lee is out of action and his machine gun is dropped. Now the problem with his machine gun is its loadout is 8 and nobody else can carry that. Well, that's a pain. Because I don't think anyone else can pick that up. Yeah. Non-player soldiers can't pick up other people's things unless they're ammo. Now, the ammo might be handy, but the machine gun, I'm afraid, is lost. What is that ammo? It's .303. Yeah, so I can pick up the ammo. I'm assuming this empty clip is now empty. So at least I can salvage the ammo from there, and I think it doesn't cost an action to do that. Sorry, I was just looking at it a minute ago. Yeah, it doesn't cost an action. So it'll take the ammo because it's the same ammo, it's .303. But alas, we have lost Lee and all his XP. Burp, burp. Rip Lee. You were great, but alas, you are now dead. I suppose the machine gun's still there, but nobody's gonna be able to carry it now. So, right. Well, crap. Oh, we almost had him. He was almost okay because that would have been 1 wound. But because it was a reinforcing thing, bums, we're gonna have to kill them. we'll definitely have to kill them for killing Lee. Right. They're not going to close range. They're not suppressed. We're advancing mission timer. We are down to 5 turns. And we have suffered a setback. Now, the interesting thing is that Lee was a 8-point soldier. So that has effectively reduced our resource count here. Let's say about that. Right. Yeah, so his resource cost here was, he cost 8 for us to buy as a soldier. He was 8. Our total resource cost is now not 48, it's 40. I don't know if that makes a difference to anything on the hostiles. I think they're all still in the range 30 to 49, but it could theoretically put us down into the next lower category. So it scales, interestingly, with the how many people you have left. The difficulty scales. So, alright. So we're all just shocked as Lee gets blown away by machine gun fire. But there was nothing we could do. I didn't have any cards to play. And even if I had that draw fire card still, it would have meant that, I mean, if White had been healed up to 3 health, he could have taken the 2 hits. And still been at 1, but that would have killed him then. I could have taken the hits, but that would reduce the hand size down to 3. Patel could have taken the hits. So, yeah, it sucks, but this is war. This is what happens. So, I think they moved the timer down already. So we have to do something about this. Now we've lost our machine gun as well, which is really not good. Although I do wonder, like, have I lost the 2 XP that he had as well? I'm not entirely sure how that works. A little bit fuzzy on experience. Does it go to a specific person? Place the experience point counters on the soldier card that performed the final kill. Okay. What does that mean though in terms of when they die or when they're downed? Let's say whether it loses that as well. I'm going to assume that it goes away with him. I just need to double check the upgunning as well here while I'm at it. So a bit of a weirdly laid out manual. Yeah, it says any soldier can contribute experience points to upgun an action card. Okay, fair enough, but I'm going to assume that means that when he's down he loses the XP, so okay, that's fine. We've still got 6 XP. Alright, so now we're back. We're shocked that Lee has been killed here. Dum 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 dum. So Patel and well, Lee is now dead. Ripley. Patel can now move into. Put all these over here, and then we'll know that they're gone. In fact, I'll just put him over there. Right. Patel can move in at a cost of an action. Because he's got to move in there. And I think he's going to want to heal White. I don't want to take the risk of that happening again. So he's going to move in for an action, and he's going to do a heal on White to get rid of his wound. Lonsdale is going to have a crack at shooting the reinforcing peoples. And he's got a 4 and a 5. That is enough. And he's going to play the attack card. So play when you inflict a hit at range 0. Inflict another hit on the same hostile. So there are 2 hits. I'm assuming a hit means a kill. Or does it? A hit? A hit can be a suppress or a kill. Well, no, because I guess it means whatever the cover value was. So in that case, he beat the cover. It'll be yeah. So if I got a suppress on him, it would be another suppress. Right. Yeah, that makes sense. But because I got a kill, it's another kill. So that's good. So he's got 1 action down. He's going to try that again. If you want to get rid of these guys, a 4 and a 5. 4 breaks the cover, 5 breaks the skin, so to speak. So that's another hit. So I just need 1 more from White here. At least 1 more to kill them, and that's good. And they're gone. 5 and a 9, I think will do it. 5 breaks the cover, 9 is definitely a hit. That's a kill. Boom. White gets 3 XP, which is very nice. So he's just going to take 4 and change that one back. Brilliant. Excellent. That's really handy. Good. Right, we managed to kill them. That was for Lee, you bastards. Right. Now, oh yeah, I suppose I've got to take, I've got to take all of these counters out now, because there's no chance they're going to be targeting him anymore. Okay, there we go. Let me give that a little bit of shake. And he's over there. Right, so now now I've got 1 move left and I can't really do anything. Does a player soldier have to do the discard and draw? I don't think he does. I don't think he does. I think just says spend one action to discard any number of cards from your hand and then draw cards until you reach your soldier's turn hand size. So, I think I'm going to. See, I've got the high ground left. I could play that there. But A, it's kind of tough. B, the entrance cost is ridiculous. And C, it's just not good. Like, I don't really want to do that. I'm going to discard. I'm going to spend that last action here, and I'm going to draw back up to 5, because that's my health. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully one of these is a location. 2 of them are locations. Excellent. So we're going to draw 2 locations. And what we got? Ruins and trenches. Ooh. That's quite good. So, haven't seen these before. So trenches, free to play, so that's good. Structure, attacks from outside this location cannot target this location unless they come from an elevated location. So that would be, well, that would have been like that high ground. It's got an entrance cost of 2, but there's a lot of hostiles. It's got 6 value of hostiles, so that's not fab. And we got ruins, so that's the trench artwork there. And we got ruins, which is this, and that is 1 action to play. Structure, when you play this card, move the timer counter forward 1 space, but it's only got 2 hostiles. I think I'm going to do that, even though that's going to minimize our time a little bit. So it's 1 action to play, so nobody's got an action, so I can't do that yet, but that will happen next. And then we've got Brotherhood, which is when every soldier inflicts a hit during the soldier turn, play it. Keep the card till used. When used, each soldier gains an action. Silver Bullet is a whenever you declare a bolt or semi-attack at range 0, automatically get an attack roll 10 and defeat cover 6. So it's an auto kill basically. And Rally is a good one. Remove up to a total of 3 suppress counters from any soldiers. So that's good. So we got a good hand there. Trenches I will not be playing though, that sounds horrible. Alright, we're at the end of the soldier turn. Reinforcements aren't coming back, fingers crossed. There is actually a zombie expansion for this, I will say. There's an undead expansion which I don't have. I don't know if I'll get it. I might get it, I don't know. But there is a zombie one, so there is a possibility that in some cases they can come back from the dead, but not in this universe. So we got to roll, I keep saying roll. We got to draw reinforcements for the road. So we always do the road, and we do the bridge. So we're going to do the road. That's a 3. It does not show up because it's going to be a 1 or a 5 to 9. And the bridge, damn it, recruits again. The reinforcements are 1, they are a 1, so recruits show up. Ah, damn it. I hate these recruits. Oh, they're actually targeting Patel for once, rather than all the other people. Right. Awesome. Fantastic. So they are going to roll to hit Patel. That is a 1 and a 3, so that's a miss. Thank God. Total miss. Not even close because it didn't. I've got a cover of 2. One thing I keep forgetting, I don't think it's made a difference, is my Mark 1 rifle has a penetration of 1, which means it can, it's got a +1 on the cover roll, basically. So it's better at getting through cover, but I don't think that's made a difference. So resources are getting a tad stretched. No suppress counters to remove, they're not going to close range. Advanced mission timer. Bam. So if I... Here's the thing. If I play Ruins, it's going to cost us 1 action to play. I might as well bring old Lonsdale over here. It's going to cost us 1 action to play from somebody. And it's going to advance the timer. And we're already down to, well, which will put us down to 3. It's not impossible. I think I'm okay doing that somehow. So I'm going to roll that down. And I'm going to have Patel use his action to do that. I am then going to get Lonsdale. Oh, sorry, I'm not then going to get Lonsdale do anything. I'm going to draw the hostiles thing. So when I play this card, move the timer forward 1 space. I'm going to draw the hostiles. I need a value of 2. Oh, good. Oh, fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. That's the best card ever in the universe. A sniper team. These are horrible. This may be the end of me. So, I gotta kill these guys or they're going to murderate me. So they can actually do a kill, straight up kill, doesn't matter. There's 2 of them there, and they roll a 9+, they're gonna kill whoever they target. They're also increasing the entrance cost by 2 of the area. So that's now an entrance 4 until at least one of them is killed. And they're screened by 0 to 1. Damn. Okay, that's a pain in the ass. That's a huge pain in the ass. Bums. Right. And they've got cover 4. Okay. And I have 1 person who can shoot long range. And he just used one of his actions up. Alright, well Patel's going to try and shoot the sniper team from... Oh, sorry, they're going to kill their target as well. They are aiming at number 2, white. That's not good. So Patel is going to shoot at the sniper team from the bridge. Is he going to... he can't, he's got to do a bolt, hasn't he? Right. He's going to roll a bolt. He needs a 7 or more to hit. It's a 2 on the cover, unfortunately. That's a 3 with the penetration. It would have been an 8, but that does suppress them. So that's suppressed 1. So that's nice, because now the entrance cost is down to 0, which is also good. Which means I can get one of my guys to go in there and shoot at somebody. I think I'm going to want Lonsdale in there because he is really good at short range. So if he can shoot the other sniper, or at least take, neutralize them, that would be good. a 6 to hit the cover and a 2, so that's still a suppress, unfortunately. But that's good enough. They're suppressed. Okay. And now white is going to just try and murder these recruits, I think. So he's going to fire once. That's a 2 and a 9. Which does hit. That's 1 kill. And I'm going to roll over here. Just going to move this over here just so it's a little bit closer. Come on. And he's going to try again at the recruits. It's a 1 and a 7. Which would hit because he's got a +1 on his range 0, but that's a miss on the cover, but that's a suppress, so that's fine. Okay, good. They're both down because they both have 2, or they're both out of action at least. So a bolt or a semi-attack? Hang on. Oh yeah, I could have just played the silver bullet, couldn't I? Nuts. Alright, well, neither of them are firing at anybody, which is good. So that's nice. So both his actions are used up. Actually, that's good that Lonsdale's ahead, because he can possibly activate that and move into it. How do you activate objectives? I think that doesn't cost anything. So with the objective cards, you have to... Yeah, there's no cost. You just have to be adjacent to it. You activate it, and you can't move into it or attack it until it's activated. So this thing says inactive. But when you're next to it, you can activate it, and once you've done that, that brings in the hostiles and so on, and then the battle for the objective starts. So yeah, reinforcements I believe we haven't done. So the road gets a 1. That actually is a thing. That's really annoying. I'm going to target number 2. God damn it. Unless he moves out into the ruins. That'd be good. I'm going to have to chase him basically. Bridge. No, that's fine. That's a 0. So the bridge doesn't reinforce because it needs to be a 1 specifically. And the ruins do not reinforce at all because they say ruins rein none. Okay, nobody can attack. Nobody's going to close range. Riflemen can attack. Damn it. Riflemen can attack white. Oh, that's not good. 2 and a 4 is going to be a miss completely, like, because his cover's 4. So that's good. They didn't. They did not damage Corporal White. And that's it, isn't it? So the others just get to remove 1 suppress, and then we advance the clock. Right. We're getting a bit tight here, lads. Well, time is running out. I think we have to stop faffing around with people. So 4 is going to activate. Lonsdale is going to activate the supply dump, which means that now we get to see what's in there. So we're looking for 4 hostiles. We got screening of 3, and that's an event. Oh shit! Surprise! Immediately perform an attack for a random hostile in play that is in range to attack. The hostile also attacks as normal this turn. Okay, so hang on. First, let's do this. So he's going to target number 4. Of course, he's going to target number 4. Why wouldn't he? Ugh. Oh, this is bad. So random hostile in play that is in range to attack. Well, they're all in range to attack. In range to attack who though? Anybody, I suppose. Yeah. So how do we want to do this? I guess we'll roll a d10. 1 to 2, 3 to 4, 5 to 6, 7 to 8, and we'll re-roll a 9 or a 0. That's a 9. That's a 1. So it's Lee again. Not Lee. This one. Riflemen on white. Damn it. And that is a 1 and a 2. So that's another miss. Pretty much the same roll they got first time. Okay. So that's that event. We still have to draw one more hostile. Now we're up to 4. We got stragglers, and they are. Oh, they've got health of 5. They're not very good, but they're rearmost, so they actually show up. They don't show up here. They show up at the rearmost location where there's a soldier, which is the vital bridge. Okay. Oh, this is not good. Not good. Now. And they're targeting 2 as well. Wow. I think white may not be long for this world. Alright. We're going to try and do something here. So, stragglers are range 0. So if we can move white into the ruins, the riflemen and the stragglers can't get to him because they are range 1. Like the riflemen are range 1, the stragglers are range 0. So they'd have to move, but they have to move after they try to attack, and they can't attack. Because he'll be out of range by then, because he'll be over here. So he'll be safe from them. At the moment, it's still down to 1 guy here. So we do want to move white into here, and then we'll want to try and kill the sniper team or something, presumably. The screening. Oh yeah, we gotta kill them, haven't we? So the hostiles screen the supply dump. Damn. I really wish they had. If they had drawn a 1 or a 2, it would have been interesting, because then they'd have to move over towards 1 and 2 here, because they got range 0 to 1, which would leave this undefended, assuming no reinforcements showed up. But at the moment, this is not good. Okay. What are we going to do? This is not good. We only have 2 turns to do this. Maybe close. Sorry, I was agonizing over what I want to do here. definitely want to move him into there. That's going to take out some of the threat on him. Definitely going to want to fire let's see, hang on. Yeah, I definitely want to shoot the sniper team, and I might want to use my silver bullet if I can, because that would be automatically get an attack roll 10 and defeat cover roll 6, so that's just going to instantly just kill one of them. And given it's a sniper, I really want to do that. So I think I am just going to do that. I'm going to declare a silver bullet on White's attack on them, and I'm going to do a killing action on one of them. So that's one. Sorry, that's another action, so that's both his actions. What does Patel want to do? Because the trouble now is that we've got to discard a card, don't we? So I can discard the other trenches location though. That's just got to discard a hand card, but it doesn't have to be an action. So oh, but I can't. Damn it! I can't do that because they increase the entrance cost, so now it's entrance cost 4. I have to discard 2 cards, which is not great. I mean, I suppose I could discard these 2. Sure. I'll discard those 2 then. And sorry, where's my high ground then to put that in the other pile. Right, so got 1 card left. To move him in, which will cost an action. And I am going to shoot at one of those people, one of those screening people. And that is a hit, but it is a doesn't penetrate their cover unfortunately, but it suppresses one of them at least, so that gets the worst of the thing done, because if all 4 of them are alive, then they get inflict a wound on a 4+, which is not good at all. Now they have to roll a 7+, so that's something. What is he going to do? If Patel does a discard and redraw and draws back up to 4, or back up to 5, so he draws another 4 cards, and then shoots at the recruits, then he's not getting targeted by anyone, which is nice. So maybe I should try and shoot the recruits first and then see where I am. Yeah, alright, I'm going to shoot the recruits with a single bolt thing there. I need a 7. Sorry, I need a 6 to hit. And also they can't hit the stragglers. You know, you can't shoot the stragglers anyway because they're screening. I could spend an XP to hit the stragglers, I suppose, but they're not a threat at the moment. That's a 5 and an 8. That is going to kill the recruits. So that is now Patel gets an XP. He doesn't have to worry about being shot at by the recruits, which is nice. Nobody is actually aiming at him anymore, which is also good. So now he's done that. Now he's going to do a draw up to 5, and we are. So we got blind spot, which is lets you just do more better hits on vehicles. Overwatch. Play at the start of the hostile attack step. You or any soldier may perform one attack at the start of the hostile attack step. It does not cost an action. Retain 1 XP. Take cover. Lets you cancel a hostile's card attack, which is or hostile card's attack for the cost of 1 XP. And infiltrate is play when you or any soldier are paying a nature location's entrance cost. Ignore the entrance cost penalties on hostile cards. So that's not horrible. So that's him done. Now, if I've figured this out correctly, 4 is still under threat, which is not good. But 2, like these guys can't hit 2 because he is now 2 locations away and their range is 1. He can't hit 2 because he's range 1 and his range is 0. And he can't hit 2 because he's all killed or suppressed. So nobody can attack 2, but this lot can attack 4. So and they roll on the 3 column. So please roll low. 3 and a 6. Oh, that's a miss. Phew. 6 is a miss. 6 minus is miss. But it is a suppress, because that does beat his cover. Right, and then everyone moves. So they want to move to here, and they want to move to here to be able to attack 2, but they can't attack him this round. Then suppressions are removed, and then we've got to do this in this turn. This is going to be tight. This is going to be really, really tight. Oh, this is going to be horrible. If only I had my machine gun still. Because we've got to kill these guys in order to do this. Also, I forgot to do the reinforcements. Damn, hang on. Alright. Rewind. Road reinforcements. Nope. They do not show up. Now we've got reinforcements on everything here. So none on this one. Bridge. It's got to be a 1. It's a 0. Supply dump has to be a 0 or a 1. There's a 3. No reinforcements. Excellent. That was a large truck. That would have been fun. Also because these guys screen vehicles. So how the devil am I going to do this? I don't think I can. I think I have to... The only way I can do this... Oh, this is so annoying. The only way I can do this is if these two move 1 location. That's 1 action. Then one of them shoots, or one of them gets rid of one of these. The other one gets rid of one of them. That'll take 2 down. Nuts. action 4. Each rocket costs 1. It's only got 2 though. I need to get 6 hits on this thing to take it out. We just don't have the time. I don't think I can do this. Oh, it's so annoying. Does my cards help? I got a blind spot. No. I suppose I could have played the Overwatch card on the screeners, couldn't I? But that wouldn't do it. No, none of these can. None of them can do it. I don't think I can do it because he's suppressed. I mean, okay, great. I can use this to the rally to remove a total of up to 3 suppressed counters from soldiers. So okay, that's gone. So he doesn't have to waste an action. But if I get rid of that to move white into there, and then I move Patel into the ruins for an action. So his focus, he can declare an attack and pay 1 XP to ignore screening restrictions. Well, that's great. But the only thing he can do really is throw a grenade, because this is damaged by explosion attacks only. But we can't attack it until we've killed all the hostiles, and we can't kill these guys. I don't think we've got the ability to do it. That's so annoying. I think the only other long shot thing I could do is with his last action, or with somebody's action, I can discard and redraw all my cards and see if there's some miraculous card that that will help us here. But that's about it, because the annoying thing now is that I need Lonsdale to be able to fire his rocket launcher at the dump, or I need Patel to be able to throw his grenades at the dump. But the grenades only have a range of 0, so he has to be in that hex or in that card. So you know, the grenades are ineffective now. And they would have been brilliant at destroying the supply dump as well. I haven't got all this way, and now I can't do this. Is just so annoying. I mean, this is part of the thing as well, that you gotta really like make sure that you've got all the stuff you need. And even though I've got an extra grenade from my original plan, it's still not quite enough, because I can't do this. All I can do is I can try and like Patel could shoot one of them. White can shoot one of them, so that's 2 down. Lonsdale can shoot one of them, that will be 3 down. I don't have that Brotherhood card anymore, do I? That would have been good if they'd all hit, and then I would have got all extra actions. Damn it. Even more frustrating. And in fact, he can't move in there without. Sorry, I have to spend another card because he's got +1 on the cost. In fact, yeah, that was it. Yeah, so you got +1 on the cost. So it's not enough to get rid of all of them is the problem. And then they get their turn and I run out of time. I think I can't do it. All I can do is, for my action, I'm going to discard my remaining cards. I'm going to draw 5 more, and we're going to see if there's anything miraculous in here that lets us do something. 3, 4, 5. There's a location thing, that's not great. I got 2 draw fires, that's not useful. I got another Overwatch, that's not useful. Ready. Pay 2 XP to play this card. You or any soldier may perform a discard and draw action without spending an action. Sure. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to discard all of this. I'm going to spend 2 XP. And I'm going to do a free discard and draw. Let's see what happens. Well, that would be handy if I can do it. So I got an advance. I got 2 advances, which are play when you or any soldier are paying an entrance cost. Add 3 to your or any soldier's movement value. I got snapshot. You, any soldier, may perform an attack without spending an action. That might be handy. I got blast. Play when you declare an explosion attack. Roll 2 extra attack rolls. So it's a big explosion. So that could mean that a grenade would be 6. Still don't have a way to get that grenade there though. Because Patel's just used his action to do that. And we still have to get rid of these guys. Yeah, I just don't have enough actions to do this, do I? I just can't do it. The best I can do is to have white shoot. I mean, I could. No, I can't. I can't even. I need to get his grenades into here, and I can't do it. The best I can do is have Lonsdale fire his rocket launchers at the screeners, and that's it. Because white doesn't have anything to blow anything up with. So I mean, there's just no point in doing anything else here. Bugger. All right. Well, let's see it through to the bitter end, because they've got to get their hostile thing. They might just gun us down when we're at the gates of the supply dump anyway. Yeah, the maths did not work out here, unfortunately, which sucks. But that's the thing, isn't it? Like, sometimes you plan for a mission and it just goes awry. Perhaps if Lee had survived, we might have been able to cut through these guys quicker. But now we've got... I mean, white's going to just get massacred, I think, because the sniper team is going to shoot him. Oh no, he might survive that. Oh, the stragglers are screening the sniper team as well. I just realised, because they're screened by 0 to 1. So they're down here. So we can't get to them anymore. Yeah, I think we've failed this mission. Now we do have an option I mean, this is going to be the runaway option of leaving. So let's just have a look at that. That might be a way to get out of this. You can also voluntarily remove a soldier from the mission that is reduced to 2 or 1 health. I don't think anyone's been reduced. You may choose to remove soldiers from a mission at any time during the soldier's turn. Yeah, they're not really... they're in full health, really, aren't they? So they can't do that. I was going to say that they could just go, screw this, we can't do the mission, let's run away. But they're not. They're going to have to do it to the bitter end. So let's pick something to do. White is going to shoot at the screeners. That's a 6 for the cover and a 4 for the hit. That is not a hit, but it is a suppress. So one of them suppressed. And yeah, Lonsdale can't do anything except... Oh, it's just so annoying that the Piat rocket launcher is only explosions 2, so it's not gonna... You know, if it was a grenade-sized explosion that had explosions 4, it could do something more. I think the most I can do, actually, because the blast is an explosion attack. Hang on. You, any soldier, may perform an attack without spending an action. I've only got 2 rockets. I think, so annoying. The best I can do is I can use blast to fire a rocket at the screeners and maybe take 3 of them out because I'll be rolling 4 dice. And if I manage that, I can take a pot shot at the supply dump with the other rocket and just do a normal attack on that with my second action, with a third action that I could do with a snapshot, which is a free action, a free attack, and that's all I can do. So I might as well do that, and at least I can see if I can damage the supply dump. So I'm going to do a blast attack with one of the rockets from Lonsdale. It's a range 0, 5, and it's going to roll more dice. I need 4 dice, so I'm going to roll 4 dice. So this is a big explosion attack. I need 5 or more to hit, and I need to beat a 2 cover. Actually, it's got penetration of 4, so I don't need to care about the cover. It's going to be broken anyway. That is a hit and a hit and 2 misses, but the cover is broken anyway. So that would be 2 kills and a suppress. So yay. We've taken the screeners out from screening the supply dump. Problem now is that it is impossible for me to destroy the dump. But he's going to fire his other rocket at it anyway, just out of sheer spite, because, you know, it's one of those like, bang, 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 kind of whatever moments, you know, that you get in the movies where they're just like, they're so close. Because he needs to do, wait a minute, What's size? There's a size keyword. Oh, add or subtract the size value of from your attack rolls when attacking the hostile or objective, and the objective has a size of 3. So it's actually even easier to hit. It's a 2 or more to hit on the the rocket launcher. Oh, just literally one hit away. Like if I just could do one more attack, which I'm already playing the snapshot on. If I could do one more attack, and it was a desperate bid to try and get more cards with Patel there. And I'm spending an XP, sorry, to do the snapshot. Then, yeah, that would have worked. But this is now going to be a last ditch attempt. Sorry, that was a 6 and an 8. Yeah, that was a 6 and an 8. And a 4. That totally blows the cover. I've done 2 hits on it with an explosive. Sadly, I need to do 4 more, or 4 more. And with that, that is everything. They get their turns. So reinforcements. The road is not reinforced. The ruins do not reinforce. The supply dump does reinforce with a lone soldier. And that is aiming at 1. So we've got a horde of people attacking number 2, attacking white. The screeners can't attack anybody because they're all killed or suppressed. So we're just going to see what the final casualty list is here. The sniper team can attack white, unfortunately. Please roll low. Uh-oh, 6 and a 1. Whew. Alright. They suppress white, but they do not do anything else. The stragglers can't attack him because they're range 0. The riflemen can't attack him because they're still at range. Lone soldier on Patel. 5 and an 8. Ooh, that's not good. That's beating the cover. He's wounded. He's only got 1 wound, but he's wounded. And that can't attack. People close range, so stragglers are going to close on here. Riflemen are going to now replace the people screening the sniper team over there. They're trying to get closer to 2. Remove suppresses. Advanced turn. We are out of time. And that's it. Sorry. Sadly, we could not do the mission. We could not complete it. We were so close. We were so close. We just needed to get like 1 more turn. We could have done it. Annoyingly, I guess that means really the ruins, the fact that we moved the ruins, placed the ruins, which moved the timer forward 1 space, killed us. That's the thing that did it. Then again, we played the forest one back here that gave us an extra turn, so we would have failed this a turn ago anyway if we hadn't done that. If we'd got more nature cards, that might have saved us. I mean, there's a lot of what ifs here. So unfortunately, we have not completed the mission. The timer has run out. I don't know what that actually means for everyone else. I mean, the mission is now over. because had we been able to take out the supply dump, the moment we do that, it's end of game. Mission succeeds. We're done. But game ends in failure if you run out of game turns or when the last member of your team is downed. So we're out, I'm afraid. When the mission is over, roll to determine the status of each downed or removed soldier. Because you can play a campaign of this, you can do like multiple missions. So you can keep the same people if they survive. So the only thing I got to roll for is Lee. He was removed with 0 health or left, or less even. So he just rolls a d10. If he rolls a less than a 5, he's killed. Otherwise, he is either able to return to duty or medical discharge. He rolls a 0. That is a 10. So he is able to return to duty. So yay! Lee survives. Having not killed in the... was he the bridge? I think he was at the bridge, wasn't he, that he got killed? Where he got downed. So Lee is alive. Wondering where all his mates are. I suppose it says roll to determine the status of each downed or removed soldier. Well, they weren't downed or removed, so what happens to them? Do they, to the other guys, do they just camera pans out and there's all these Germans moving into the supply dump and these guys mounting a valiant defense and that's it, or what? I'm going to roll on this table and see what happens. Let's just assume they are let's see. Yeah, let's just assume that they are going to be removed with 2 health, so it's +4 on the roll. And let's just see what happens. So, I mean, this is making this up as we go along. White is an 8. He gets out. He's able to return to duty. Lonsdale, also able to return to duty. And Patel, whoops, let's roll that on the tray, is also able to return. So we'll say that they managed to. They realised that it was lost, and they managed to just basically get the duck out of Fodge and evade all their pursuers. But yeah, the mission was a failure, unfortunately. So yeah, well that's it. So sorry it was a bit of an anticlimax in terms of success, but hopefully it was exciting. I thought it was quite a good little good little tale that we wove there. And Lee manages to get out at least. So they all in our world here they've managed to escape at least. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it, but it doesn't say what happens to them if the mission fails. But we're just going to assume that they managed to get out, perhaps wounded a bit, but they're alive. So that's that. So thank you for watching. Hope that made some sense. But that is a full mission, and as you can see, you can plan well and get lucky, and you can do the mission, or you can not plan quite so well, or not get quite so lucky, and you can fail the mission, and that's just what happens. I mean, I'm sure that happened all the time in World War II. That people set out to do stuff, blow up bridges or convoys or whatever, and they didn't work. C'est la guerre, as the French would say. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a really clever system. And I'm going to be getting, I mean, there's a whole ton of other stuff in the expansions. They've just released another wave of things. They've got a whole bunch of vehicles. They've got the undead. They've got shore invasions, so you can do like D-Day type things. Airdrops. They've got airborne divisions in as expansions now. Also, there's Russia. We've got Russian missions over here. I've got some of those, and they're basically they're similar missions, but they all have the cold environment thing. So you have to, I think you have to roll below the environment number or above the environment number, and if you fail it, then your soldier is suppressed at least. So it screws with the action economy basically. But yeah, we've got Russia in there. I'm going to be getting Poland and Europe, and the only reason I'm getting Poland is because it was going for cheap, really. But it's got a few. The thing with the expansions is that they have, they don't just have soldiers, like player soldiers. They've got the gear, for example, if I just get my cards again. So, like, you would have, for example, here's the Russian soldiers. So, you get your Soviet soldiers, and they are a whole bunch of different things. Like you've got like that. You've got these. You've got these. You've got these guys as well. So this is Vatutin, who is clearly from the eastern parts of the Soviet Union, which is good. Yeah, they've got people from all over the place. I like Mikhailov here, who's just basically wearing a massive tin can. I am heavily armoured, thank you very much. Yeah, so that's their soldiers, so that comes with the expansion. But then you also have all their weapons, so you get their versions of like flamethrowers and whatever this is, submachine guns and a spade mortar, so like indirect fire weapons and so on. And you also get their versions of equipment. So amusingly, with the Russians, you can get a cavalry horse, or you can get a cold weather gear. So there's they have their own unique things. You get that, and then you also can get. It's almost like a collectible card thing, really, because you can. They include things like new missions and new objectives and things like that. So if you want to get the widest possible range of options, you have to, or you don't have to, but you can get more expansions, and they'll give you more things. Right, so I'm going to get the Poland one, and I'm going to get the French one as well. There's a France set. The interesting thing about Warfighter is actually that I think the original Warfighter is a modern one. It's a modern game, so you're playing, whatever U.S. Marines or whatever the U.S. Army and so on, and you're probably fighting whatever terrorists or whatever hostiles. I don't know what all the hostiles are in that one, but there's probably going to be a whole range of modern hostiles that you can use in the game. And of course you have modern weapons, and you'll have like helicopters and all this sort of stuff. So there's the modern one. There is this one, which is the World War II European theatre, and they've just done a second edition of this that's got updated rules that has it's pretty much the same as these rules, except they're they've got more clarifications, and they also include all the stuff that the expansions added, like vehicles and medals and all this other stuff. And there's also a Pacific one. So there's a Pacific World War II one, which I've just ordered, and that is obviously in the the Asian theatre, the Pacific theatre. So I've got that on the way with the two Japan expansions, because they always split them up into two. So I'm going to get that so we can do a US versus Japan hostiles in the Pacific, and the Pacific has its own environmental issues like hot and swampy and diseases and all this sort of stuff. So that's going to be interesting. So that can go in the second compartment here. And like I said, there's also shore invasions and airborne things and so on, which I'm interested in, but I may or may not get. So there's a lot of stuff there, and not only that, but the Pacific one also has the more up-to-date rulebook that the second edition of the European one has, but this particular one doesn't. I've got the first edition, not the original rulebook. But they're also going to do a fantasy one, which might be quite interesting. I guess the undead one is the undead expansion is the first step into that, but it's literally got a guy with a sword on the cover or on the artwork for it, and a near future one, so a kind of cyberpunky thing. So they've got plans for this one. They also were mentioning that they might do a North Africa World War II, which will be interesting. So they haven't brought the Italians in yet, and I suspect they'd be showing up there. But a North Africa one would be quite interesting. But I haven't actually seen any. I've seen like the plan. I've seen that they've got plans for a fantasy and near future one, but I haven't seen any concrete things about the North Africa one, except I mentioned in here that they were thinking of doing it. But so it's going to be it's pretty interesting. And there's loads of things you can do with it. I mean, I played with the UK here. So the UK is an expansion. The UK soldiers. The default is the Americans versus there's Americans that come in the core set, and there's German hostiles that come in the core set, and then you can get an American expansions which adds more, and you can get the American expansions add American soldiers that you can play and American hostiles that you could play if you were playing, say, German soldiers, which the German expansion gives you. So you can mix and match. You can go historical, and you can go like, I'm going to play Americans versus Germans, or you can play British versus Germans, or French versus Germans, or Germans versus Soviets. You can play here's where my World War II history is a bit flaky. I'm assuming that the Poles were attacking the Germans, or were defending against the Germans. They would have been, wouldn't they? I don't think because the Soviets wouldn't be attacking the Poles at that point, would they? I don't think. There are the Finnish as well. The Finnish are in here too, so there might be a Finland-Soviet thing possible. I'm not going to get that one though. That's a bit too much of a secondary conflict for me. But if you're into that sort of thing, you can. So there's a whole load of things, and you can go ahistorical. You can go like, what if the Brits decided to attack the Soviets? Or what if the yeah, I mean, you can do a sort of ahistorical type thing like that. You know, if the Italians were in there, I mean, if you get Japanese ones for World War II Pacific, we can go, what if the Germans attacked the Japanese? And in fact, in the Pacific one, they also have Chinese, North Korea, and South Korea expansions, and you may be going, well, hey, that's not in the Pacific World War II, and you'd be right, because the Korea ones are actually the Korean War. So you can do the Korean War with the Pacific World War II rule set, and they've done that. So that's interesting. So yeah, the whole ton of this is just scratching the surface on this. There's a whole ton of different things that they've adapted it to, which is really good. But yeah, that's Warfighter World War II, or just Warfighter in general. So I don't know what I'm going to do next week. I have a ponder. I don't know if I'll do another Warfighter or pick another game. I might have some more games by then, I don't know. But we'll see. I think I won't do a stream on Monday, because that's just for overflows and so on. So next stream will be on Friday, the whatever that is, 26th, I think. But next Friday anyway is when it's going to be. And then yeah, we'll see what we do. I'll put something on the Twitter once I've decided what I want to play, and we'll take it from there. So with that, I think I'm going to go. Excuse my ramblings. But yeah, hopefully you got an idea of what this was like. It's very good. It should be generally available. Like I said, the second edition is should be out now. You can get it from Dan Verson Games. I think their dvg.com website directly. I think you can order it online from most online board game stores and so on. But it can get expensive with the expansions. Like you definitely don't need the expansions to play. You can totally play it just with the base game on its own, but you've got way more options and way more interesting stuff going on with the expansions. But they, like I said, they're to get the full, like, you know, if you wanted all the Soviet stuff, you need to get 2 expansions, which are whatever, 18 Canadian dollars each. So I don't know what that is in US, maybe like, I don't know, 12 or 15 or something US dollars. And then if you want more full sides, then that's going to cost you whatever, $24 US a piece or something. So it can get expensive, but you know, you can mix and match. You can do what you want with it. You don't have to get absolutely everything to have a good time with this game. So anyway, enough of my rambling. I'm done. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. And yeah, I will see you next time. Ta-ta!